Welcome to Spring Lake Park High School for this Section 7 volleyball boys matchup. Well, boys volleyball matchup between the number 1 seed Spring Lake Park Panthers and the number 5 seed Irondale Knights. Ted LaRue taking you along for the ride here tonight. And what a ride it has been for Spring Lake Park boys volleyball in the first year of MSHSL sanctioned volleyball here within the state. A 21-7 record coming into this game here. Of course, you know, due to boys volleyball being a little bit newer, you know, not everybody's going to be playing that quarterfinal game. Spring Lake Park did not play that quarterfinal game, but Irondale certainly did in that 4 versus 5 matchup. Irondale was able to defeat Blaine over there to prevent a cat clash here this evening. That was 3 sets to 2 over there in the quarterfinal. Some players to watch in this game. For Spring Lake Park, you're looking at Remy Jean. We've covered him a couple of times this season. This kid can really fly all over the court. 292 kills, a 26.7% hitting percentage. It leads the team in both of those categories right now. 71 aces also leads the team in that category. Hector Lai, 453 assists. He is the setter for this team. So he's going to be the guy that's going to look to certainly set everybody up as well. Amir Abdoumenam will be the leader to really look for Irondale. 296 kills. Wade Vang, 580 assists. He is the senior setter there in the middle for Irondale in this matchup as we are ready to go for this volleyball showdown here today. Of course, Irondale coming from the Suburban East Conference. Spring Lake Park coming from the Northwest Suburban Conference. Shelly Deegan is the head coach for Spring Lake Park volleyball as we're getting set to go. Spring Lake Park, as we've covered them a couple of times this season. They certainly have a team they're a very athletic team. And at the service line to start things off is Hector Lai here for the Panthers as he gets this one in play. Dug out in the middle, passed over to the opposite side, and we got a whistle and a point in favor of Spring Lake Park to start things off. Lai back to the service line, the senior for the All Blues of Spring Lake Park as he gets this one in the middle. This one dug out by Ogden. And a kill on the opposite side. First kill of the game. We mentioned the senior outside hitter, Amir Abdoumenam. He powers it down, and you kind of look right now at Irondale. You got a couple of bigger bodies in the middle. I mentioned Abdoumenam. We also got Alexander Bly, the middle blocker of the senior that's in there as well. Wade Vang in there to serve as Irondale has possession. Kill attempt a little bit too strong from Andrew Polotachuk for the Panthers, and Irondale now with a 2-1 lead. Vang back at the service line. And a nice kill, and the first one of the game. This is Simon Tran, the senior for Spring Lake Park, really powering that one down, and a great job kind of getting him into an advantageous situation. 2-2 on the board now. At the service line for Spring Lake Park, Atticus Molitor, the junior outside hitter. That one was close to the back line. It was dug out. Abdoumenam had it turned away, and a point for the Panthers as they now regain the advantage. 3-2, and Molitor back at the service line. He's one of the main guys to look out for the Panthers. That high lob and a lot of power, and they say that one got in. It looked like it just hit the line or was just inside the line, and that is an ace for Molitor as the Panthers now have a 2-point lead in set number 1. Spring Lake Park on a little bit of a rally with Atticus right here behind the service line, packing a lot of power into that serve. And well, the first one was close. That one, well, let's just say it's not as close. The service error and a point for the Knights. Abdoumenam at the service line, and that one just makes a little bit of contact with the net. Panthers just get it over. Ogden taps it over. Nice dig out by Molitor. Chasing over there, Hector Lai keeps it in play. Irondale trying to get back. Good recovery there by the Panthers. I think they might have called a carry there, and the point will go to Irondale. And we've got a tie game at 4. Some really good hustle plays, really good rallies by both teams. And now Abdul-Minham once again back at their service line here for the Knights. That one too strong and out of play. And the Panthers take a 1-point lead. Andrew Palotachuk will check out. Gabe Molitor now in to serve, wearing that gray libero shirt. That one dug out. This one hit the ceiling, and that's going to be a point for the Knights as this one kind of continues to go back and forth between Irondale and Spring Lake Park. Dion Yang checks out, or I should say Enzo Yang, the libero for Irondale, checks out. He'll take a seat, step into the service line. Alexander Bly, the senior for the Knights. Molitor digs this one out. Trying to set things up at the far side, and that's how you do it. Simon Tran powers it down for his second kill of the game. We're going to get some substitutions. Bly will take a seat on the Irondale bench. Panthers with a 1-point lead. Tran, he's done it towards the net with a couple of kills, and he's doing it at the service line as well. All over the court, gives the Panthers a 2-point advantage. Winner of this one, of course, punches their ticket to the section championship. Tran puts this one in play. Just trying to go a little tap over the net. That was Kulsing Saring for Irondale, but a little bit of contact, and it's going to be point for Spring Lake Park, and now a 3-point rally here for the Panthers. Tran puts it in play, and that perfect placement. Kong-Chi No Lee was right there in the vicinity, but that one just inside the line, and Spring Lake Park doing it in a variety of ways, both at the net and at the service line. A 9-5 lead here for Spring Lake Park as the Panthers enjoying a nice run here. Tran put a little spin on the ball there at the serve. This one is going to be dug out by Yang, setting up a kill opportunity. And they're going to say it was out, it looked like. That one was close in the back corner. That was Abdul-Minham. 10-5. That certainly looked into me that it was inside the corner, but the officials say it was out. The officials are going to reconvene here. They do not have the luxury of official video review. So, gotta think that call is going to stand here. But right now, Spring Lake Park on a 5-point run, having that 10-5 lead over the Irondale Knights right now. And some really good work at the service line by Simon Tran here so far on these last couple of points for Spring Lake Park. Coming into the game, Simon Tran, according to what I'm seeing here, 3 aces coming into this one, just 16 serves. So he hasn't gotten a ton of action, but he continues the trend going in the right direction. Tran, once again, multiple aces here on this rally. That's 6 in a row for the Panthers and an 11-5 lead. You know what they say, all good things must come to an end. And Tran, this one might have hit off the side of his hand or something, but this one goes out, point to the Knights, and now we'll see if they can grab the momentum back. Kong-Chi No Lee will serve. This one batted into the air by Gabe Molitor. Remy Zhang puts it over, trying to put it into the middle where Irondale has to reach out to bat it over. Abdul Minham tries to put a lot on it, and that one did not hit the court, just hit the SLP padding logo on one of the walls here in the gym, a little bit too strong, and 12-6 the score now in favor of SLP. Kauchi No Lee, the senior, will sit on the Irondale bench. To the service line is Remy Zhang. We talked about him in the open as one of the top players on this team. This one just a little bit out. That had some smoke on it. Point to the Knights. 5-point deficit for Irondale. Molitor gets it in play. Zhang feeds it over. Panthers trying to get a little bit of touch, but that was dug up by Thomas Todd. Nice block at the net by the Panthers. Abdul Minham gets it over. Zhang setting things up for Molitor on the other side. Good defense, good positioning there. Abdul Minham trying to use his height to get it over. And they're going to give point to the Panthers on that play at the net. And I think they overruled the call there, and I think they're going to give this one to Irondale. They're going to go back to the service line. Sungju Bayak will serve here for Irondale. I think we had some contact at the net. It's going to be a point for the Knights. So Spring Lake Park went on a big-time run there, and now a little bit of a rally here starting up for the Knights. Beck will put it in play, and that one just a little bit out. So that's going to be a point for the Panthers as they put a stop to this run. We've got substitutions on both sides. Checking out for Spring Lake Park, Gabe Molitor will take a seat. In at the service line, Ames Rotzenberg. He's in for the first time here today. This one gets in play. Abdul Minham trying to power it down, and that's exactly what he does, just inside the back line. And we've got ourselves a 3-point game. That's the formula. That's the formula for Irondale here today. It's very clear. Abdul Minham has the advantage at the net with his size. Dig up by Molitor. He's back into this game. Now Atticus Molitor. He gets it over for Spring Lake Park. Molitor trying to power it down. And he gets the kill. Tenzin Ogyen trying to dig that one out to no avail. Serene will sit here for the Knights. Spring Lake Park maintains a 4-point lead. This one a little bit long, just trying to work its way back over the net. Knights do exactly that. Atticus Molitor, that one was kind of set and fed to him a little bit behind him, maybe not as much near the net as he might have wanted, and it certainly didn't result in a point for. I take that back. It did find its way inbound. So that is a Spring Lake Park point. 15-10 in favor of the Panthers. Hector Lai puts it in play. Abdul Minham trying to power it out. That's a nice dig. Good positioning by Zhang. Kind of had him falling back a little bit. Wasn't able to get a ton of power off of that dig. And it's a point for the Knights. And we got ourselves a 4-point game. Spring Lake Park has gone on a couple of runs here in this first set. Irondale continues to hang around and battle back. But when Irondale battles back, it always seems like Spring Lake Park has an answer. This time, Andrew Palotachuk hammers it down. 5-point lead for the Panthers. Atticus Molitor, the junior outside hitter, will put this one in play as Spring Lake Park 9 points away from taking home set number 1. Dug out by Abdul Minham. Second hit, too far out of bounds. That one came off of the hand of Alexander Blythe, the senior middle blocker. Spring Lake Park +6. Molitor back at the service line. Panthers get it over. Yeah, that was misplayed at the net. Remy Jean trying to feed it over to Lai, and Lai just couldn't quite get the handle on it to set up Palotechuk. Abdul Minham back at the service line. Irondale trailing by 5 here in this first set. That one's out. A point for the Panthers. And it's 18-12 in favor of Spring Lake Park. Molitor puts it in play. Abdul Minham right in the middle, and that's been a couple of times where he kind of comes up through the middle, but just a little bit too powerful. It's more, he kind of powers it more out instead of down. And so it's a lot easier to maybe to get a little bit of a higher lift on the set when you're a little bit more towards the net. Nice block there. Spring Lake Park getting their hands up, but the ball lands out of bounds, and it's going to be a point for Irondale. It seems like for every run that Irondale has been able to have, Spring Lake Park has had an answer. Bly puts it in play. Nice dig out there by Abdul Minham. Zhang now over on that side, and Tran powers it down. It started with Remy Zhang, and we've talked about how Simon Tran has been doing it both at the service line and towards the net. Spring Lake Park extends their lead to 7, which is their biggest lead here of set number 1. Ran a couple of aces at the service line before. Went on a run before, but not so much this time. Service error gives Irondale the ball and the point. Gongqin Lee at the line will put this one in play. It's a slight deflection off of the net, kind of slows and adjusts the SLP defense, and powering it down was Sungju Baek for Irondale. And now what was once a 7-point lead, the biggest of the set for SLP, now it's down to 5. Lee at the line will put it in play, and that one catches the entire net, point SLP. Zhang has a powerful serve. This time he decides to put an airlift this one a little bit, and sitting right there at the net and dropping the hammer is Atticus Molitor, the junior outside hitter. Spring Lake Park builds their lead back to 7, 3 points away from taking set number 1 here at Spring Lake Park. And Remy Zhang, that one was, it looked like it might have really carried out, but that one was maybe closer than it initially looked like it was going to be. 6-point game now after the service error. And here's Beck at the service line. Puts it in play. Oh boy, you had one guy up there for Spring Lake Park. You had Rotzenberg, but you had a tandem of Knights there at the net to win that 2-on-1 battle. 22-17. It just seems like Irondale has just been a handful of points behind from the very start. They continue to claw their way back into this one, back at the service line. Molitor digs it out. Tran over to Molitor. That one was dug out by Thomas Ta. Keeping it in play. A couple of blockers up there for the Panthers. Keep this Abdul Minham now. There we go. Then they've done a really good job focusing on where he is on that court. Now, that point does go to Irondale, but Spring Lake Park maybe started to adjust their defensive structure a little bit. From 7 now down to 4. 3-point run here for Irondale. Tran at the net. Up to Molitor, and he taps it over. They're going to say it was in. It was very close. Point Spring Lake Park, and that puts the halt to that Irondale run. So now with the ball, Rotzenberg will put it in play. Looking for Abdul Minham maybe on the other side. Nice dig out to keep this one alive. Molitor at the net. That one kind of catches a little bit of the net, and that is going to be that's going to be point Irondale. And we've got a 4-point game. I mean, if you can get Irondale to get where we're at now, get 2 or 3 points in a row, completely changes where I think where we sit in this one. Colsing Saring will puts it in play. Excuse me. Rotzenberg trying to get it over, but there's that height, there's that size of Amir Abdul-Minim on that other side making the play, but he does hit it out of bounds. Spring Lake Park point, and 24-19 Panthers. And we've got our set point here. Play at the net. Officials award the point to Spring Lake Park. Panthers take set number 1. Irondale kind of battled back a little bit in that first set. 1-0 Panthers lead. We will be back for the second set right after this on North Metro TV.
Share new perspectives with North Metro TV. Capture breathtaking cinematic images. Business exteriors, scenic landscapes, sporting events, or community images. With a professional videographer at the controls, North Metro TV will tailor a package for your budget. For high-quality photo and video aerials, contact North Metro TV. North Metro TV News is your source for local stories. Highlighting the issues in your community, we bring you the news that's closer to home. Join us as we explore the stories all around us, every day at 2:30, 6:30, and 10:30.
The past comes alive at North Metro TV, where we can help you transfer your old videotapes, films, cassette tapes, record albums, and even photographs and slides to DVD and digital so you can enjoy them again. North Metro TV, bringing the past to life.
I'll be seeing you.
No, the thing I've missed the most during this entire time, this pandemic, has been you.
I love playing to a live audience. There's nothing like it.
The COVID-19 vaccines are going to help us all get back to the moments we miss.
It's totally normal to have questions. I did too.
That's why it's so important to get informed.
So ask your doctor and get the facts. It's up to you.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
Spring Lake Park takes set number 1. They're out to that 1-0 set lead as we get things rolling here for set number 2. Spring Lake Park just had that 4, 5, 6 point advantage for really a majority of that set. Irondale kept on battling back, but the Panthers take that first set here today. Ted LaRue back with you for this Section 7 semifinal. The winner punches their ticket to the section championship, and then of course winner of that game will punch their ticket to the first ever state tournament for Minnesota State High School League boys volleyball. Irondale will serve to get this thing rolling. Wade Vang back there at the service line. Vang puts his ball in play. There's Tran using a little bit of touch and just the right amount of touch to put it over for the first point. Yeah, for Spring Lake Park, you know, if you're talking early look at like a player of the game, Tran is maybe a guy that you could consider for that, where that early rally kind of midway through the first set, and then also what he's done at the net today has certainly been valuable for Spring Lake Park, and certainly too strong on that serve from Atticus Molitor. 2 Molitors on this team, both juniors for the Panthers. Minham puts it in play. A little bit of contact there at the net. Enough for Irondale to get under it, and you see a little miscommunication from Abdul Minham and Leo Vang there, and it results in a point for the Panthers, taking that 1-point lead. Molitor puts it in play. A dig to nowhere, one might say. Well, I suppose it was a dig towards somewhere, that somewhere being the net, Sungju Baek. A 3-1 lead for Spring Lake Park. This is kind of the way things started for Spring Lake Park in that first set. Getting out to that couple of point advantage and then continuing to ride that throughout the set. We'll see if they can continue to do so. Molitor puts it in play. They get it over, nice dig by Tran. They just got to get this one over instead of, well, you got to go forwards instead of backwards there. And Hector Lai hitting it behind him, at a point for the Knights to make this one 3-2. Bly at the service line for the Knights. A lot of air under this serve. Zhang at the net, tapping it over a couple of defenders, Sering and Yang at the net. And I believe, yes, it was Spring Lake Park point, and a 4-2 lead for the All Blues. Zhang will put this one in play. Dug out by Yang, but out of bounds. Point for the Panthers, and they've scored 5 of the first 7 points here in set number 2. Zhang gets this one into the net. Point for the Knights. Just a pair of serves for Zhang there. We're going to see some subs. Checking out, Wade Vang will take a seat for Irondale, as well as Leo Yang. Vincent Lohr, the sophomore setter, will put this one in play, and this one goes straight into the net. Point for the Panthers. Zhang back at the service line. He really puts a lot of spin on that ball. He throws it high into the air. Molitor sets it out. Found Cullen Larson on the other side. And it's a point for Spring Lake Park. 7-3 lead, and they've certainly gotten out to a really nice start here in this second set. Zhang back to the service line. Dug up by Aluminum. Put into play. Back over the net. No contact made with the net, and a point for Spring Lake Park. An 8-3 advantage. 8 out of the first 11 points scored by Spring Lake Park, and this is exactly the way that you wanted to come out here in set number 2, and certainly get things going in the right direction. Section championship will take place Tuesday, June 3rd, 7 p.m. High C will host that one. Molitor gives it out. Tran feeds it over. Just a little bit of taparoo there in the middle. Get the thing over for the Panthers. Nice block at the net. Do not believe that one landed in bounds. No, it did not. Knights will take the point. A much needed point there for Irondale. Bake at the service line, puts it over. Kind of hit the pole there, that red and white pole there, but Knights will grab the point. Bake will put this in play. Molitor sets it out. Back to Molitor. This one went right at Abdul-Minham. And he couldn't get a good hold on it to hit it back over the net. Point for the Panthers. And it's 9-5 Spring Lake Park. Ratzenberg puts it in play, and Tenzin Ogyen couldn't quite make the play, and that is an ace. 10-5 in favor of the Panthers. James Ratzenberg at the net. He is the one of two freshmen on the Spring Lake Park roster. Kill attempt. Out of bounds from Sering. Now the Panthers looking to enjoy a little bit more of a run. Ratzenberg, nothing fancy, just put it in play. And kind of misjudging where the ball would go was Sering. And now Spring Lake Park, their biggest lead in the first set was 7, and now we're back to 7 yet again. Ratzenberg puts it in play. Dig out, Abdul-Minham at the net. He just decides to apply a little bit of touch. Nice dig out there by Tran. Got this one over. Irondale hustling all over, and Abdul-Minham right into the net. And now this is the largest lead in a set that we've seen so far here today, +8 in favor of the Panthers. Ratzenberg got a little bit of spin on that one. That's out. And looking to try to get into that corner was going to now Lee. And now a 9-point lead here for Spring Lake Park. Dug out by Ogden to start. Good positioning from Zhang. Zhang, a little bit too strong. He did a really nice job digging that one out to really give himself another opportunity, but nothing doing there. Ratzenberg takes a seat on the bench as he had certainly had a good run from the service line there. 14-6 lead for Spring Lake Park. As they go to the back line, Molitor trying to power it down and does exactly that. 9-point lead for Spring Lake Park. Substitutions. Sering will take a seat for the Knights. Cullen Larson will take a break here for Spring Lake Park. And we got a timeout here. So, yeah, 9-point lead for the Panthers sitting there, 15-6, and they've certainly enjoyed a very nice second set here today. So we were kind of mentioning what the bracket is looking like. Spring Lake Park had a bye in this section. It is a 7-team section. So because they were the #1 seed, they're the only team that advanced to the semifinals without having to play a quarterfinal game. We talked about Irondale getting that 3-2 win over Blaine in the quarterfinals. On the other side of the bracket, #2 seed Andover won in straight sets over #7 seed Centennial. And then #3 seed Mounds View also sweeping in straight sets, 6 seed Forest Lake. So on the other side here tonight, getting underway in about a half an hour or so. You've got the Huskies and the Mustangs battling it out here today. So we know Spring Lake Park wins, they will come back here for the section championship. If Irondale wins, then it would be the winner of Andover and Mounds View would host the Section 7 championship. Polotachuk getting a little bit of contact there to keep this play alive for the Panthers. Abdul-Minim gets it over the net. There's Zhang in the middle, and that one is out. It's just his accuracy's been just a little bit off today. Certainly, we know he certainly probably packs the most power on this Spring Lake Park side, but just been a little bit off at a few errors here today. 15-7 is where the score sits right now. A nice play by Tran. Simon Tran over here gets the kill and the point for the Panthers. They've gotten to 9, they haven't quite gotten to 10. Back to serve is Atticus Molitor. Ooh, that one had a lot of juice on it, and it just barely out. And a point for the Knights. Amir Abdul-Minim puts it in play. Kind of a little out of position there after the serve, and the lead gets back to 9 for Spring Lake Park. Polotachuk will take a seat, senior middle hitter on the bench for the Panthers. Junior Gabe Molitor will put this one in play. And he serves it right into the net to give Irondale their 9th point of the set. Knights want to get back into this one. You're going to have to see a considerable run here, and we'll see if it can start with Alexander Bly. And it does not. Service error out of bounds on that play. Hector Lai will take a seat on the Spring Lake Park bench. Malone Guimont checks in for the Panthers. Ooh, some nice adjustment in the air. That one's out. That'll be a point for the Panthers, their largest lead so far. This adjustment in the air by Ratzenberg. Simon Tran put this one in play. Dug out by Abdul-Minim. Nice touch over the net by Sarin. Zhang trying to use that. Kind of went off the side of his hand, but it's in play. It's over the net. Abdul-Minim. Nice kill. Molitor can't quite get to the ball, and out the door he goes, and here he comes back in. 9-point game. Zhang trying to get the kill down. Nice dig out there by the libero. And so Yang. Irondale notches the point. Comes to within 8. And because Spring Lake Park's so close, 6 points away from making this 2-0. Maybe a little bit of a sense of urgency here for Irondale, of course, in this set. Zhang puts it down, and he gets the point. And now, just like that, back to the serve. And yeah, it's just Irondale hasn't been able to string together a lot of consecutive points. Here's Zhang will put it in play. That one lands, dug out. Abdul Minim sets it over, just gets over enough. Zhang has got to get it over. He's got enough power to do exactly that. Set things up in the middle for Kalsang Sering. And it's a point for the Panthers as they have a 10-point lead, 21-11. Oh, that's beautiful placement. Beautiful placement. Enzo Yang, the senior libero, was back over there kind of tapping his chest saying, hey, my bad a little bit. And sometimes there's not a lot what you can do when you got accuracy on the serve like that. That's as good accuracy as we've seen from Remy here today. 11-point lead for Spring Lake Park. That's another good one this time. It is dug out indeed. And it's going to be point for the Knights. It was deflected off the block and went out of bounds off of Spring Lake Park and out of bounds. Now we got a 10-point game. Bake at the service line, gets it over. Kill attempt. I think it was tipped. Well, they're going to say it was tipped by Irondale at the net on the kill attempt from Ratzenberg. And it'll go point for the Panthers, an 11-point lead at 23-12. Just a couple of points away from getting this thing out to 2-0, but Ratzenberg fires this one back into the net, and Irondale is going to have a shot to go on a little bit of a run here. Sering at the service line. They're going to say out. That one was close. It did catch some of the blue line, it appears. But now we're back down to a single-digit deficit. Oh, what a great job to have a chance to get that one over. But Atticus Molitor is going to get credit for the kill here. We're down to another set point here. Some substitutions. Sitting down for Malone Guimont will sit down for Spring Lake Park. 10-point lead. Lai puts it in play. Nice block at the net, but could not get the ball to hit on the other side of the net, so it's going to be point Irondale. Wade Vang puts this one in play. Molitor digs it out. Here comes Zhang looking to power it down. This one goes in up to the ceiling. That one's hit out of bounds by Irondale. And that will do it. A 25-15 convincing set to win for the Spring Lake Park Panthers. They are just one set away from punching their ticket to the section championship next week. We'll have set number 3 right after this on North Metro TV.
Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash your hands. Scrub it while you sing this song. Wash, washy, wash, washy, wash, wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Wait a second.
Do you know who I am?
Julia.
Hi. I just wanted to talk to you about what happened with those two girls in 8th grade.
Oh, yeah?
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me because like I finally like knew that I had somebody.
Spring Lake Park took that second set 25-15. The lead got as high as 11 in that second set. The Panthers have been exerting their dominance of the #1 seed, certainly for a reason here today. Spring Lake Park, we talked about the bye coming into this one. Winners of 8 out of their last 10 regular season games. They've been a joy to watch when we've covered them so far this season, certainly. And they're certainly starting their playoff run out on the right track. Spring Lake Park team that's ranked number 9 in the state rankings. Right now, nearby Anoka, finishing off that at number 10. John, puts it in play. And it's going to be a point, Spring Lake Park. Blooming and Jefferson, Eastview, Eden Prairie, Rogers, North St. Paul make up the top 5. Oh, look at that. Remy Jean putting it right in the corner. And a beautiful start off here to set number 3, a 2-0 lead for Spring Lake Park. Jean puts it in play. That's a heck of a dig. This one goes off the ceiling, and somehow Irondale gets it over. Big kill attempt. This one kept alive. Maduamina puts it over, and that's enough. Boy, this one was up in the ceiling. And Irondale gets the point. What a great job to stay aware and stay alive in that rally. Vang at the line. This one dug up by Molitor. Kind of a fadeaway kill there, but Cullen Larson puts it in nonetheless, and 3 out of the first 4 points in this set scored by Spring Lake Park. Larson puts it in play. Momentum out, and it'll be point Spring Lake Park. I think the key to these, both this first set, second set, and of course so far here in the third set has been the strong starts for Spring Lake Park. They've made some good plays to start off some of these sets. Nice block at the net, but it is point Irondale. Amir Abdul-Minim. At the service line. Molitor keeps it in play, below the chuck. Too far. Jean and others saying it might have been tipped, and now it could Shelly Deegan out here, maybe pleading the same case, but to no avail. We've got a 1-point game. Molitor once again on the dig there in the middle. Atticus Molitor putting it down. Padua gets it over. We got ourselves a tie game here, so this one started off 4-1 in favor of the Panthers. And now the Knights have stormed back with 3 consecutive points. 4-4. Abdul Menem puts it in play. Molitor gets it out. Atticus trying to tip it at the net. And it's enough to get down in front of the 2 blockers of Irondale, and the Panthers have a 1-point advantage. Molitor puts it in play. Nice block. That was Atticus Molitor at the net. Zhang trying to get it over. That one's a little bit too strong for Tran, and we've got ourselves another tie game, 5-5 after the error. Bly will put this one in, and it is out on the far side. 6-5 Spring Lake Park. Simon Tran at the line, and maybe a little bit too much spin on that one. And once again, we go back and forth. So we talked about in these first couple of sets how, you know, Irondale gets down by 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever points, and they can't make a run to really sustain it. Now maybe Spring Lake Park can't get a couple of those consecutive points to be able to pull away. John puts it in play. Molitor puts it down for the kill. Gives Spring Lake Park the advantage and the ball once again. Substitutions. Lee will sub out for the Knights. Atticus Molitor. Nice smoke, but a really nice dig there by Yang. Knights hit it out. And a 2-point cushion now for SLP. Into the ceiling, but it bounces straight back down. Irondale's had a couple of nice ceiling bounces here today. Abdul Menem kind of digs it out, but then he comes back and is looking to a dig and a kill potentially. Does not get the kill there. Nice block at the net there by Sering. Abdul Menem gets it over. Molitor trying to put it down. It looked like some net contact was made, and it's going to be a point for Irondale. And we got ourselves an 8-7 game. Knights have done a pretty good job here with a couple long rallies today. Puts it in play and just a little bit out on the service error. Gabe Molitor, junior libero, takes a seat on the Spring Lake Park bench. Panthers +2. It's a good play. Nice dig. Atticus Molitor got down on the floor for Spring Lake Park. Block attempt. That ball, that kill might have been going out, but the block attempt went out of bounds. So that is going to be a point for Irondale, and now they claw to within 1. Ball hit out, and Panthers with a 2-point lead. Sean puts it in play. Dug out, Abdul Menem trying to tap it over! And he puts it where they ate. Irondale fighting hard, hanging around within this game. And this, it's gone back and forth and back and forth. It's been a seesaw, teeter-totter type of game, and a key service error from Vang. I was just about to say, who's going to be able to 3 or 4 maybe consecutive points, and maybe start to separate themselves. Spring Lake Park has got a chance here, but now they have a service error, back-to-back service errors. And it's going to be Irondale ball. Dagian will take a seat on the net for the Knights. Abdul Minham puts it in play and misplayed off the hands of Cullen Larson. And we got ourselves a tie game. Abdul Minham take it out. Now Atticus. Get the right angle on that one, and I do not have a running score here today, but this might be the first time Irondale has the lead. It is 12-11 Knights right now, and they have come out hot. They have come out with a vengeance, certainly here within this third set. And you know, as this game continues to progress, Irondale's a good team, and you know, Spring Lake Park can, if they can sweep them, that would really show just how good of a team they are, because Irondale's certainly got some solid players on their squad, and they've done a pretty good job here throughout this season, certainly as well. We're talking the top 5 of the state rankings earlier today, finishing off the top 10. St. Michael Albertville sitting there at 6, Shakopee at number 7, Bemidji and Lakes Country at number 8, Spring Lake Park, mentioned earlier, at number 9, Halloween Town and Anoka sitting there at number 10 in the state rankings here today. Rogers is the team, they 23-1 so far this season. It's the only team in the state that has 1 or less loss. Everybody else has 2 or more. Abdul Minham at the service line. Puts it in play. And so Yang tried to get it over, comes back on their side, and that violation, and it's going to be a point for the Knights. We were talking about who's going to make that run. Right now, Irondale making a run. Abdul Minham puts it in play. Molitor trying to power it down. Nice dig out there. Nice hustle by Abdul Minham. Molitor, Pajong, Atticus Molitor does not get it over. And a 3-point advantage for Irondale. Park, after going down 3, hoping that gives them the momentum back. So now the deficit is now only 2. Gabe Molitor to serve. And we got a whistle. This is going to be point for Spring Lake Park. So now just a 1-point game. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Panthers here. Molitor puts it in play. Oh, nice kill down. He kind of read that one the whole way. Ames Ratzenberg, the freshman middle hitter. And now we are all tied, 14 apiece. 3-point run here for Spring Lake Park. Nice block at the net. A lot of net play here, going back and forth. Tipped and in. And Spring Lake Park were facing their biggest deficit of the day. And now they've rattled off 4 straight points. Abdul Minham. This one dug up by Zhang. The Molitor connection is blocked. And And it's out, and a point to Irondale. They will get it back to stop the Spring Lake Park run. All square at 15. Both the Knights and the Panthers 10 points away from taking the set for Spring Lake Park, 10 points away from going to the section championship. But this one is in, kind of brushed the line judge and the official back a little bit, but eventually making the call to put Spring Lake Park ahead by 1. Tran puts it in play. Nice tap, nice dig out there. Molitor puts it over. That's another good dig up by Molitor. Atticus powers it down. And Spring Lake Park takes a 2-point lead. This one, not too long ago, we got a timeout on the floor. This one not too long ago was a 14-11 lead for Irondale. It really looked like the Knights were gaining a lot of momentum. Ever since been a 6-1 run for Spring Lake Park, and we've said it in the first 2 sets. When Irondale looked like they were gaining the momentum, Spring Lake Park would keep their distance. In this one, it's Spring Lake Park making the comeback from their largest deficit of the day today, and now they lead by 2, 17 to 15, just 8 points away from punching their ticket to the section championship if Spring Lake Park is indeed victorious, if they can indeed close the deal here today. The section title would be decided within these walls here at Spring Lake Park High School coming up on June 3rd. Tran will serve. Spring Lake Park has got a lot of momentum. We'll see if they can keep it going off of the timeout. No, they cannot. Service error right off of the timeout. And that gets Irondale within a point. Back-to-back service errors. Put Spring Lake Park in the driver's seat once again. Atticus Molitor will put this one in play. Just gets over the net. Abdulminum puts it over. John out to Larson. This one out, just barely out on the back line. And the Knights within a point. Prince Padua will take a seat on the Knights bench. Serve out, and 19-17 now in favor of the Panthers. You know, we've had a couple of times where trading service errors back and forth. Irondale cannot afford that, certainly at this point in the game. Abdulminum tapping it over, and we've seen that a couple of times where he kind of has his hard approach and then changes the tempo and taps it over. 1-point game. And so Yang will take a seat for Irondale. Saring will serve. And that one's going to be out, so back-to-back service errors for Irondale, you know, and if you kind of continue alternating this in a 2-point game, eventually your luck is going to run out. 20-18 Panthers. Brown puts it in play. Abdulminum puts it over, and it's enough to get through the block. Not by much, but a point is a point. We're at 20-19. Kongchin Ali will sub in for Francois Vang. Song at the net, leaves it off, and that is a powerful kill by Cullen Larson. And the Panthers retake a 2-point lead, 4 points away from their first MSHSL playoff win in program history. At the 9, every momentum, nice block, a double block there. Atticus Molitor in there. Zhang back to Atticus. Powers it down. And the Panthers take a 3-point lead. All right, what a great, exciting sequence that was for Atticus Molitor to eventually make the play in Spring Lake Park here on a timeout. A 3-point lead in set number 3, and they need just 3 more points to be able to take this one home here today. Atticus Molitor has been all over the floor for Spring Lake Park throughout this game. Of course, Remy Zhang, the leader. We talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast, the leaders in kills, hitting percentage, and aces so far on the season. Certainly as well. Maybe a underdog award or an underappreciated award would go to Gabe Molitor in the middle of this team for Spring Lake Park. Has done a really good job digging out some tough serves kind of in the middle back of this Spring Lake Park structure, kind of keeping some plays alive. Cullen Larson at the line, puts it in play. Abdul Minham looking for the kill and the block. Atticus Molitor and Andrew Polodinchuk makes the wall. 4-point lead. Larson out. Now a 3-point game. Amir Abdul Minham at the service line. There's Molitor taking it out, looking for the kill. And indeed, he got it, Andrew Polodinchuk. And we are down to match point. Spring Lake Park, 1 point away from advancing to the section championship. Dugout Irondale trying to stay alive, and Remy Zhang could not dig that one out. Alexander Bly powers it down, and then we continue to play on. Remember, due to rally scoring, a service error or any type of error for Irondale would give the Panthers the victory. Here's Bly putting it in play. This one dug out and out of bounds, and a couple of points in a row now. That was Larson in the middle, and it's 24-22. Now we got win by 2 here. So even if Irondale scores on this point, Spring Lake Park can still win by 2 with another point. Zhang, there's the shot at the net. This one blocked, out of bounds, off the hands of Kosek Sering, and that will do it. 25-22, Spring Lake Park. They had to fight for it. They had to claw for it, but they eventually get the job done. 25-22 here in set number 3. Spring Lake Park takes this one in straight sets, and this is an impressive victory. This was a good Irondale team coming into this game. They beat Blaine in the first round, and now going down here to Spring Lake Park today. For all of us here at North Metro TV, we thank you for watching this presentation of high school boys volleyball. I'm Ted LaRue. Spring Lake Park in straight sets advanced to the section championship game.